Hey everyone, welcome to our very first episode of a monthly Q&A that I'm hosting here at Chasing Tails Dog Training. My name is Rebecca. If you haven't been here before, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm very passionate about helping dogs and their owners building a relationship, building a strong, positive communication bridge. And by doing that, it's looking at the different methods and techniques that you can work with dogs, because not everybody learns the same, right? So each month we're going to be answering your questions, sharing tips, tricks, techniques, and tackling some of the most common issues that I see with dogs and their owners. This is your go-to spot to get those answers you need. So grab a treat for your pup, grab yourself a drink, and let's dig into some questions. So I have here, I compiled some questions that I got and kind of put them into a topic where they kind of make sense. So each month there'll be a different topic. So let me know if you have different topics that you'd like. So first question, what are the benefits of dog training? Enhancing safety, strengthening bonds, promoting good behavior. It is absolutely crucial for mental stimulation, and it prepares your dogs for various situations. So when I talk enhancing safety, what do I mean? Dogs can get themselves into all kinds of problems, and you see the memes on Facebook of, I have a dog and I pay for his extracurricular activities, meaning paying for vet bills. With proper training, you're going to have a dog that's got a reliable recall, that's not going to go running into the street when you're trying to get out of the car or out of the house. A dog that's not going to be jumping on strangers, especially those that don't like dogs, or maybe they're older and the dog might hurt them. Running up to dogs that we don't know. That's how dog bites happen. I really focus on strengthening the bond, working together to create that communication system between you and your dog. It doesn't have to be exactly like your neighbor. I really try to make it as unique as I can. Working together, and a lot of the reason why I do this is I want you and your dog to have that relationship, but more importantly, I want your dog to be confident and feel secure in its own environment. And I also would love for your dog to be confident and secure in various other situations. Promoting good behavior, less barking for absolutely no reason, chewing, becoming aggressive, snapping, being scared. It helps really create a more harmonious household. Mental stimulation is huge. If you think about it, we're at work all day and you're working hard. Whether you work hard manual labor where you're really working with your muscles, that's exhausting, or maybe you sit in an office and you work on a computer or you work with customer service. It's exhausting. But what does your dog do all day? We need to have some way for your dog to have some type of a mental outlet. Training can absolutely help your dog get that outlet. And then preparing for various situations. What happens if you decide to have a baby, or maybe you decide getting another puppy or a kitten? What if you're suddenly moving? Your dog needs to be able to know that it's okay. Otherwise you're going to have a scared, anxious mess that's going to start barking, going to start chewing, all those things that we don't really want. And then for fun, it allows you to bring your dog to those social events, to feel good about, like, yes, we're at the social event. My dog's been doing awesome, because nobody wants to be embarrassed by their dog, in my experience. I know. So that's kind of an overview of a lot of the benefits of training. So let's move on to our next question. How do I successfully command my dog without them getting fearful or resentful? Well, first off, dogs don't become resentful at all. A lot of people say, well, my dog knew what he did because he looked sad because he knows he got into the trash and he knew he wasn't supposed to do that. That's not necessarily true. A lot of it is your dog knows that you don't like trash spread around the house, and there's trash spread around the house, and he's going to offer you appeasement behavior to be like, I'm so sorry, please don't be mad. I know there's trash on the floor, but please don't be mad. And it's not a way of becoming resentful. Or there's the people that say, well, my dog is spiteful. That's not necessarily true either. When it comes to a dog that's seeming to be spiteful, it's looking at the situation and figuring out, why does the dog feel this way? Do we have enough mental stimulation? Do we have too much mental stimulation? And how do we help the dog cope in those situations? I absolutely believe in the power of positive reinforcement, just like humans. I mean, if you think like a human, when I go to work, I'll go and do my job like I'm supposed to. But how good does it feel when your boss tells you you did good? Better yet, how do you feel when your boss comes up to you and says, hey, you did fantastic on there. here's a $20 bonus for being awesome. We're doing the exact same thing with our dogs. That's what those treats are. That's what that verbal praise is. It's letting your dog know that you like what they're doing, that they might get rewarded, because my boss might not give me $20 every time I do something, but I'm gonna act like they might because I'm gonna hope for that 20 bucks. When it comes to positive reinforcement training, I'm not looking at what a dog shouldn't do. I'm looking at what I want them to do and for them to feel comfortable and want to repeat the behavior that they know I like. And catching those behaviors and letting them know, hey, good job doing a perfect sit, or good job watching me, good job. It encourages them. Just like if my boss said, hey, you did really good on this report, I'm gonna strive for that. Next question, is there an expected time frame for a dog to learn specific commands? Not really. Each dog is gonna learn at their own pace. In order to speed up training, a lot of it is going to be on you. Being patient, consistent, anybody in your household, anybody coming over, letting them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. Be consistent with it. And really kind of figure out, are you communicating with your dog, or are you just telling them to do something? Because if a dog doesn't know what you're asking, that's like somebody speaking gibberish and being upset that you're not doing what they asked. So training will help you create that communication. Am I a bad owner if my dog struggles with commands? No. This simply means that whatever technique you're doing, however you're doing it, is not compatible with your dog's learning process. Everybody learns different, and sometimes it is just a tweak in what you're doing to help make it click in their head. The important thing is, are you trying? Are you looking for those different techniques? Are you reaching out for help? Are you hiring a trainer? Are you just going to Facebook looking for, whatever the group chat says? So the important thing of, are you a bad dog owner or not? Are you trying? If you are trying and you're making an honest effort, that doesn't make you a bad dog owner. Maybe you need to reach out and ask for help. That's what I'm here for. I got you, buddy. Alrighty, so my next question. What can I do between sessions? The biggest thing you can do is be consistent. If you're not consistent, you're just gonna confuse your dog. Like maybe you use the word off for them to jump down, but then you're like, no, get down. That's not consistent. They're gonna be like, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to lay down or do you want me to get off? So make sure that you're consistent. Tell your friends, your family, your neighbors, whoever is going to be interacting with your dog, let them know what you're doing. And I have a lot of people that think that when I'm asking for training, I'm saying between 5 and 6 p.m., time to work with the dog. You can't do anything else. And that's absolutely not true. While it is important to dedicate some time to training, most importantly, find ways to utilize the training in your everyday routine. Maybe, why don't you sit in the bathroom with me while I brush my teeth? Or, hey, I'm gonna go watch some TV, why don't you lay on the floor next to me? Can you please be patient at the door so that I can go out and grab the Amazon boxes and not have you run out the door? And then don't be afraid to ask questions. If you utilize my service, I'm here with you as much as I can be. Text is the easiest way to get a hold of me just because I'm all over the place. But if you have a question and you're not sure how to proceed, or if we've worked on something and your dog's not understanding, let me know. Because I'm gonna try and help you over the phone and see if we can tweak a couple things. And if it's not working, then I know exactly what to work on in our next session. How do I stay mindful with positive reinforcement versus just spoiling my dog? Well, first off, when people think of positive reinforcement training, they think it's all about treats and giving your dog treat after treat after treat, and everything has to be rewarded with a treat. And that's not necessarily true. Now, granted, I use treats in my training sessions because I have a limited amount of time with your dog, and most of the time that is a great way to catch their attention and be able to actually teach you what we're doing in a condensed time. But in between sessions, utilize verbal praise. Give them a scratch on the shoulder, let them play with a toy, give them a few minutes of tug after working on something that's really hard. That's gonna make them feel so good. And maybe you've been working on something really, really, really hard and it finally clicks, it's finally there, so you're gonna do all three. You're gonna tell them what a great dog they are, maybe have a treat for them, and you're gonna play a little bit of tug as you're loving all over them and being really excited and celebrating their achievement. And it's not just their achievement, it's yours too. As you're working through the training process, it's most important that your dog understands what you're asking. Like, you can tell them sit and then be frustrated that they didn't sit, but you have to think they don't know what sit means. So this is where we be patient and reward them with a treat every time they sit. And you know, we've got different moves and different ways that we can help encourage that learning. But once they know that command, it's pretty solid, and you don't have to treat every single time. And you can start building in other commands, like maybe we're gonna ask for a touch and then a sit and then a down, and then maybe we're gonna do a spin, and then we get the treat. Because we know all of those commands, the dog is still gonna be excited to get their $20 at the end of it, so you don't have to treat for every single thing. Just remember, it is so important that they understand what you're asking, otherwise you're gonna be frustrated, they're gonna be frustrating, training isn't gonna be fun. My goal is always that training is always as fun as possible. Are you gonna have frustrating moments? Absolutely, we all do. But we want to work past those frustrations to celebrate those achievements to make training fun for both you and your dog. So how can the family work together to make sure that sessions are successful? Well, first off, be consistent. I cannot tell you how incredibly important consistency is. Work as a family to decide what verbal cues and what physical cues you're going to use to work with your dog. I have commands that I like because they work for me, but maybe those don't work for your family. Work as a group to figure out something that's going to work. Offer gentle reminders. If somebody says, and this works for me too, like I am so used to when I release a dog using all done, but I have several clients that use something else. I have some owners that use free, or some that use the word release. And there'll be times when I tell their dog all done and they're like, we use release. And that's okay. Gentle reminders, like don't bully anybody, that's not nice. Everybody in the entire family should be involved in the training in one way or another. Even if you have to create some type of like a list or like a rotating chore chart, whatever works for your family. Like I'm not here to tell you how your family is to do their family things, but find a way to get everybody involved. Everybody's involved in feeding the dog. Everybody's involved in asking the dog to sit or touch or lay down or whatever it is that you're working on. Everybody get involved. That's going to make it so much easier for your dog to really understand what you're doing. Last question that I have here is, how can I educate guests on my dog's behavior and training when they visit? I'm going to be a broken record. Be consistent. You really want to talk with your guests, whether it's friends, outside family, anybody. Just say, hey, you know, I'm working with my dog and we're working really hard on greetings at the door and he's really bad about jumping. Can you do me a favor and just when you walk in, can you not give him any attention until he's sitting calmly? That way they know what to expect, they know what they're doing, and I honestly find that it is so much easier to ask another human for help versus just telling them what to do. Be like, all right, when you get in here, don't look at my dog, and then you can pet him after he's been calm. It's a lot different than, hey, can you help me with my dog? We're learning this. Always do your best to set your guests up for success. Think ahead of the game. Do you need to stock treats out at the front door so that they are prepared to come in with a cookie? Do you have any notes that you can text them or email them to be like, hey, this is what we're doing, how we're doing it, let me know if you have questions. Let them know what your new rules are, because sometimes the hardest thing is, well, I've always done this. Yeah, but I don't want that to be the continuing behavior. And then a lot of it is also recognizing your dog and your dog's body language and knowing if there's a certain way that your dog feels better when a stranger approaches. Watch the body language. Are they fearful? Are they wanting to jump all over everybody and just give all the kisses in the world? Do they prefer if you're a little bit slower and approach from the side in a more non-threatening way? Or are they better if you just ignore them until the dog has a chance to approach the stranger on their own terms before they are okay and they accept what's going on? Each dog is different. It's really important to understand your dog and the body language that your dog is displaying. Well, alrighty then. That wraps up our very first episode of our monthly Q&A here at Chasing Tails Dog Training. Thank you so much for tuning in, and a huge shout out to those of you who have offered me questions to help this be a thing. If you found today's tips and topic helpful, make sure that you hit the like button, share on Facebook, and keep an eye out for next month's episode. If you have more questions, drop them in the comments, or maybe just shoot me a message, whatever you're more comfortable with. Just remember that training takes time, it takes patience, and it takes consistency. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was the perfect dog. I'll see you all next time, but until then, happy training.